Hello, everyone. Welcome to Elevating Your Life with Paula Vail. Another fantastic show for you today. I am just really thrilled to share with you an absolutely amazing woman. We have with us today Maura Barclay. She is a Neuro Facilitation Specialist, author, and Transformational Leadership Consultant. As a thought leader, she is best known for her groundbreaking work in the intuitive empowerment field with her book, Unbreakable Woman, which I absolutely loved. And she has presented for nearly 2 decades across the nation for federal agencies, Fortune 500 companies, and the US military. Her work as a firefighter, 2-time title-winning bodybuilder, and martial artist have informed her process of helping people physically embody their personal authority and confidence. Oh my gosh, you are so awesome, Maura. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Paula. It is such a pleasure to be here, and I really appreciate your trust in me to share my message with your community. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I am so grateful. Well, I would love to have you share some more of your background and kind of what brought you to where you're at today and what you're doing for others.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. So I always begin with my family of origin because this is where I begin with my clients. Family of origin is where all the hardship typically comes from, right? All the agreements that we've made. So in my particular story, in my family of origin, my father was inappropriate with me. He crossed some boundaries, and my stepmother was the adult child of an alcoholic. So she struggled with alcoholism, and when she would drink, she was not the kindest person. She would become a bit of a bully. So in my house, I didn't feel like there was a safe place physically or emotionally. And my survival adaptation was compliance. So I was at once an inside like a bowl of jelly, and on the outside, since I didn't have a safe place growing up, I created a safe space around me by becoming a warrior. That was my response to the hardship. So I did things like you mentioned, I became a firefighter. Well, I've always had a servant's heart. I've always been driven to help. Like, how can I help? Right? I mean, it's like,
yes,
like anything's going on in the world or like in my world, like what's going on in the grocery store? How can I help? So I have that kind of how can I help mentality. So being a firefighter and working in emergency services was really, really like scratched that itch. And because my house was a bit chaotic, I'm like, I get paid to organize chaos. Sign me up. That's my happy place, right? So I really liked the warrior work, and I was really tough, and I was terrified. So on the one hand, I had this super cool thing going on, and it was very competitive, and it was an amazing journey. And on the other hand, I did it partially because I felt so afraid. And I really thought this would help kind of toughen me up and help me feel a little bit more confident, but it did not. And I did the bodybuilding kind of because I was lifting weights all the time for the fire department, because I'm actually 5'2". I'm a little person. In order for me to do that work, I'm like, I gotta be strong. So I lifted so many weights and I got a little bored. So I did the bodybuilding. And again, it was that warrior work. And the other piece to this that's really important, and I think a lot of your viewers can relate to this, I was really, really busy proving that I was worthy. I had no sense of inner worthiness. So I relied on external validation to show me, to give me the feedback that I was worthy and valuable and lovable, because I didn't think I was. So I did the bodybuilding to get that adulation and to feel safe. P.S. Still didn't feel safe. And then the martial arts was kind of an add-on to that. I did it because I thought if I just learn how to fight like a man, then I'll feel safe finally in the world, which is where my book came from. Because I'm like, this has nothing to do with throwing kicks and punches. I spar and I can take care of myself, but I still didn't feel safe. It wasn't until I recognized the powerful gifts I have to recognize when I'm in danger and to be present in the moment, that understanding was actually the thing that helped me feel safe and more confident in my life. It was embodying my understanding and trust in intuition. So that's where this whole journey began with Unbreakable Woman. So I was really struggling with all of this stuff and not listening to my heart and suppressing my anger, because I also did a lot of work in the mind body space. I was a therapeutic yoga teacher trainer for very many years. I worked in embodied anatomy, which is teaching people anatomy from a conscious point of view. I had the great good fortune of learning to teach that. And I always had this idea, Paula, like, well, I'm a yoga teacher trainer. Like, I teach teachers how to teach this. So, like, I should never be angry. What a load of crap that was. Oh my gosh. I did not know what to do with my anger. And I had so much anger about my childhood and all these things. So eventually, all of this suppressed anger opened the door for cancer in 2016. I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, big blood tumor on my heart, right next to my heart. And it was from my hospital bed that I realized that I had been suppressing my anger. I had been rejecting myself. I had been judging myself, not listening to my heart, not listening to my soul. And because I brought myself this very powerful experience, cancer really was the greatest teacher I've ever had. It taught me to surrender my ego, surrender my fear. Mm-hmm. Cancer saved my life. I have never, ever been so courageous, because once you have sat with your own mortality, mm-hmm. it's much easier to say, I am never going to be fearful of anything again. Like, I got nothing to lose. There is nothing more emboldening than like fail daring greatly, because you got nothing to lose. So cancer really opened my eyes to that. And it also introduced me to my connection to source energy. I got introduced to my 5D guides, all of the support and love that was just with me that I had no idea. Cancer opened the door to that co-creation, to that relationship. And it helped me see the way to help women is to actually stop trying to help women and start helping everybody get worthy. Help everybody make peace with their past, get connected to their soul support, literally, SOUL, soul support system that is there, encouraging them, supporting them, loving them, loving us. It's always there. It's always on. We just get interfered with when we're in fear, literally. Interfere. You can't spell interfere with FEAR. That's how I spell it. Oh. Interfered with. Yes. So cancer led me to what I'm doing now, which is Soulful Leader. That is my signature program. And I work with men and women, primarily with transformational coaches, to help them stand in their personal authority, to make peace with their past so they can take back all of that energy and power, one, to be healthy, to stand and be the leader that their clients need them to be, because everybody needs coaching, as you know, Paula. Everybody needs it. This idea that you could do it by yourself is not accurate. Mm-hmm. Every single person can benefit from a coach. So I want to help coaches reach their people in any way I can. So Soulful Leader originally was a program for people in positions of leadership, CEOs, VPs, influencers, culture makers, these types of people. And I recognized when I was servicing these really like high achieving people, I can help 1,000 of these people. And that would be great in my lifetime. But I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I don't know how long I get to be in this body. So I want to really maximize the good I can do in the world with the time that I have. So I'm leaning on transformational coaches as my force multipliers. So if I can help 1,000 coaches now help 1,000 people, now I have 1,000x my ability, right? I've just expanded my ability to allow source to touch these people. And it's not me. I want to be very clear about this. I understand people who are all about Christ, who are all about God, who say, praise be to Allah, praise be to Jesus. I get it now, because every time my clients, and I believe in universal consciousness. That's my God, right? That's my particular God. But when unity consciousness, when people say to me like, you're a genius, I put my fingers like this and I go, please direct all praise to source, because the only thing I'm really good at is getting the F out of the way. That is
Yes.
that's my gift, is getting out of the way and letting it come and reflect for my clients. So
And Maura, that is such a huge point, because when we get out of the way and we allow guidance, messages, whatever you want to call it, come through, we accomplish and we grow so much.
it's all about that. The only
Trust.
limits, exactly, Paula, the only limits that any single person has is what they believe they have.
Mhm.
You know this.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's so important for people like us and others who are listening. If you are privy to this, please go out and teach it immediately to everyone. Help them see that they are not limited in any way other than the illusion of limit that they carry with
Yes.
them. That was taught to them. It's an unconscious program they're running. We got to get that program, that archaic program out, and put some new plugins that allow them to update the OS. I've got a whole computer metaphor happening here that I was not expecting.
I love it. I love it. Because, I've always believed when we get out of the way of our ego, and just open up and trust, so much more can happen. And we can have things come to us that we'd never dreamed of. I mean, our mind is like, here, okay, this is my goal. This is what you get out of the way, and you can have things come through you 3 times what your goal was.
I have a little saying that I share with my clients, or I podcast and I do weekly trainings, weekly workshops that I share, and I have a YouTube channel. So one of the things that I share, I'm not sure if it's regularly, but at least consistently, is the mark of the universe. When you have been touched by source energy because you received something you didn't know to want.
Oh my gosh.
You're
Oh
like,
my gosh, that's going to be like my favorite verbiage. That is so spot on, that you didn't know you want.
you didn't even know to want it. And
Mhm.
that's how source comes in. That's how spirit comes in and up levels you. It opens up your mind like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know this was possible. I was dreaming so small.
Yes.
And the universe is like, oh, but you're dreaming. So we want to encourage you. So here's a little drop of something you never saw coming that is going to blow your stinking mind. You're like, oh my God. The universe did this with me with a man, because I was not interested. I went to a Dr. Joe Dispenza advanced retreat. My only purpose was to surrender more deeply and to figure out what my purpose was. Because at the time, I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. I just lost a 6-figure job. I had a potential boyfriend kind of ghost me. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm done. I'm just going to follow my heart, follow my soul truth. I'm not going to focus on a relationship. I've been using them as a distraction for my power and for my personal authority. So I'm like, I'm done. I'm just going to raise my daughter. I have a 9-year-old daughter. So I have a 9-year-old daughter. I'm like, I'm just going to be single mom, rock star entrepreneur. I may get more tattoos. I don't know yet, but this is where this is my focus.
Yes.
And here comes the universe, like, ba-ding, here's this man. I'm like, I thought I told you, like, I am not interested. All I want to do is learn how to surrender. They're like, yeah, this guy. I'm like, no. I don't think you understand, universe. These are the conversations I have with source. Like, no, I don't want a relationship. I want to surrender. And finally they're like, yeah, this guy, he loves you. I'm like, oh, surrender to love. I get it. 2 years later, we're stronger than ever. We do business together. We're going to be doing eventually retreats together, because he's a meditation master instructor in this very, very powerful meditation that I can't even, like, I bow down to him. Like, I don't know how to do that. You just do that. I'm going to do my thing. And together we're going to fight crime, So it's just like, the universe is like, hello, over there. I'm like, okay, thank you. So I didn't know to want it, is my point. That's right. I'm like, oh, it took me a second. And then once I let it in, I recognized the power of it. And I really had no idea that was the thing that I needed. And the universe very cleverly is like, look, here you go. It's easy to look past it. No, that's not it. That's not it, we say. Oh, brother.
So easy, isn't it, Maura, to let outside influences affect us, on what we think of ourselves and this and that. And I've come to the conclusion in my life, okay, there's a wall in front of me. Am I going to bang my head on that wall? No, I'm just going to jump over it. I'm just going to move on. And
Yeah,
it sets you free.
it's very liberating. And the work that I do with, languaging is a huge piece of what I do. And that it just changing the language that you use. This is what part of the neuro facilitation, the language. So let me just break this down, because I'm
Yes.
super excited to share this with you. I think you'll totally, if ever there was someone who's going to be able to receive this, okay, check this out. So you know that thoughts are things, thought forms have a frequency and vibration, right?
Yes.
Okay, so thoughts are words. So words have a frequency and vibration. Within the frequency is information that our conscious cells are responding to in every moment. So when you use words that steal your power, diminish you in some way, or has a low vibration, you are essentially inviting that, kind of resonating that vibration through your body, through your cells, through your energy body as well. And there's always an opportunity to speak in a way that is higher frequency, that speaks to the frequency of your fourth center on up. And it requires just a moment of pause to recalibrate the communication. And I'll give you a perfect example. That made me so mad, or that made me so happy. Let's use, why are you so happy? That made me so happy. So when I hear my clients say that, it's so easy to say this. Our default way of communicating gives away our power and incites violence, and lots of shadow is inherent in our language.
Yes.
So when you say something like that makes me so happy, I would say the next level up is, when I experienced that, I chose happiness. Right? When this thing happened, I looked at it and I chose to be happy. So you take all your power back, and you're telling your brain, you're building pathways that indicate, regardless of the experience, you choose how you respond to it. So inherent in the change in languaging is also the pathway to unconditional living.
That is so powerful, because really, isn't it, Maura, where we reside vibrationally is huge, how it affects our lives,
Yes.
and that just in our emotions, whether it's anger or whether it's happy or compassion. I mean, oh my gosh, what a difference it makes in our lives where we are vibrationally. Yes.
I want to bring this little piece to, I just came from a week-long training, and the master instructor, who's incredibly gifted, like what? I can't go on enough about him. His name is Mike Zalesnik, and it was this training called Vibravision, where you learn basically to stop seeing with your eyes and start seeing with your first sense, which is your ability with your whole body. Your whole body can sense your environment. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. So he is old school like me, he's in his 40s. And like most people, when he's addressing a group of people, he says, guys. And I'm developing I'm working with them on their teacher training curriculum, because that was my old thing back in the day, and I want to help them. So I said, it's not that big a deal, but it's inherent in the language, the patriarchy. And I'll give you an example, because listen, I'm not one of these like super uber politically correct people. This is about vibration and inclusion. And I said, listen, you can say, guys, and I'm like one of these women who does not take offense to it. I don't see it as a microaggression, but never mind that. What if there is an opportunity, like never mind that it's like neutral or slightly less neutral. What if there was an opportunity to be high frequency? Like never mind what we're doing, but wouldn't you want to be high frequency? And the bottom line is, Paula, if a man stepped up to a group of women and men and said, all right, ladies, and just called everybody ladies, well, first of all, the men would be insulted. So when the equivalent in a binary languaging system is an insult or diminishes people, that tells you that there's an issue with this particular word as a generalization. So I invited him to use a different word. That I said, hey, why don't you just call everybody Jedi, since that's what we're here, is actual Jedi training and learning to see without our eyes and anticipate stuff without needing to see. Yeah, so he started doing it, and I was shocked at like, it makes such a difference when you say, all right, Jedis, now everybody's in it, everybody's excited, and it's actually inviting us to rise to the occasion. So, and it just took one little tweak, and it wasn't that it was negative or politically incorrect, whatever. It was an opportunity that was being missed.
Yes.
So for those who just heard me talking about language and like, I don't want to have to watch every word, I'm like, it's not about that. It's about how can I empower myself and allow more good to come to me? Everything that I've asked for, how can I get out of the way more?
Yes.
It's an inspired action to facilitate that. That's the neuro facilitation. So I just want to share with everybody, the mindfulness piece is what's going to help you get there. And it's an opportunity. It's just an opportunity. It's not like a, God, I got to watch everything I say now. Only if you want to get out of your way quicker.
And that word Jedi, it's like, oh, I'm a Jedi right there. It's a bounce up.
Who wouldn't want to be a Jedi, Paula? I do. I'll tell you that much.
Exactly. I love it. I love it. Will you share with everyone how they can get a hold of you, your website, to connect with you? Will you share that with everyone, please?
I would be happy to. Thank you. My website is mytransformationalcoach.com. And for those who are interested, who are working as coaches, transformational coaches, because we're kind of a special lot. We're kind of unicorns. We're intuits, we're empaths, we're very, very sensitive people. For most people like us, conventional sales and business models just don't resonate. So if you're struggling as a transformational coach, I do have a free gift on there. mytransformationalcoach.com/effortless. It's a cause and effect business model. So I want to help transformational coaches leverage the law of attraction as part of their foundational business model. So that's there for anybody who is interested. Go check it out. It's a free gift. And if you would like to connect with me, there's two ways. I'm on Instagram at Soulful Leader, SOULFULEADER. So in Soulful Leader, there's only one L in the middle. And I have a show called Free Lunch Live. There is such thing as a free lunch. 12:30 p.m. PST every Wednesday. The first person to drop a question in the chat gets coaching from me.
Wow.
And I don't do one-offs. And so I'm like, this is my way of being in service. And also as a coach, it's like running stairs, because I can't tell what gender people are, what color they are. I don't know anything about them, because all I get is their Instagram handle. And when they ask me questions, I just really get to get out of the way. So it's super fun and exciting, very special for me when people come in and ask me questions. So at Soulful Leader every Wednesday. And if you would like to get a hold of me, my information is on my website. And I think it's info@soulfulleader. It's spelled funny. So just go to the site. My contact information is on there. Get your free gift. And I would love to see all of you on Instagram. Come and get it. Let me get a shot at, there it is in language. Let me have an opportunity to reflect back what Source has to say. And I would be thrilled.
Jump on that opportunity, everyone. Oh, how fantastic. I love it. I love it. With a few minutes left in the show, Maura, what last words do you want to leave with everyone today?
I would love everybody to remember that the opposite of fear is love. And if you have faith that you are in divine time, if you can trust that, then you will never be disappointed. And you can stay in love.
Yes, yes. That trust is so huge, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. What would you say to someone who's thinking, it's just so difficult for me to trust? I worry. It's so difficult for me to trust. What would you say to them struggling to take those first steps towards trusting more?
First of all, I would say, I hear you, brothers and sisters, because trust was my life lesson. And trust is the fear that comes up, that pings your self-doubt. So let's talk about what's really happening. It's self-doubt. You are freaked out about this. You are freaked out about that. You have anxiety over this. You're worried about that. So this self-doubt is a function of the ego. Only the ego doubts itself, because what you really are is source, and source knows it is an eternal, you know where I'm going with this. At any time, my path to transmute my self-doubt, and I want to be clear about this. I don't teach people, I don't help people overcome. I facilitate transmutation, where you take something, you alchemize it into something else that is more valuable for you. Love, always. So when you are in the throes of self-doubt, recognize that is your ego throwing the kitchen sink at you. Don't be bigger. Rely on me. Don't look to source. Look at me over here, says the ego, and attempting to distract you because it wants to run the show. Source is waiting for you. Surrendering that fear to your source, to whatever it is, who or whatever you pray to, is the antidote for self-doubt. Learning to trust yourself means surrendering to something bigger than yourself and recognizing, I just did a great thing for myself. Source is there to help you. Always ask for help and relax into receptivity, because it's not a matter of if it's coming. It's not a matter of when it's coming. It just is coming for you. And you've got to relax and put your attention on source. That's it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That is such powerful words. Myself, something fun I love to do, and I did it driving to my office this morning. I'm looking at the clouds and I'm just, angels, I feel you. Source, I feel you. Thank you. Just acknowledging them and having that trust that can get you through so much.
Yes. Acknowledgement out loud. I'm so with you. Thank you for sharing that. When you look around, you realize I am so loved right now. Like they're beaming down. They are just like showering me with love and support and patience. There's never any judgment, because love cannot judge. It's impossible.
Yes.
So just knowing, oh my gosh, I'm being loved up right now. I just not paying it, right? I've just not been paying attention to it. I'm being loved up by source. I'm like, you know what? I really appreciate you. And I would close with this for me. I learned this, and I can't remember where. It might've been Gary Zukav who said, and if it isn't, forgive me, the way to show source, or whoever you pray to, that you appreciate them, is to enjoy your life.
Oh, I love it. Oh, well, everyone, we are loved up today. Isn't that fantastic? Oh,
great.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. Love, hugs, and blessings. Maura, thank you so much. This has been so fantastic.
It has been my genuine pleasure. Thank you so much again for your trust. And it has been wonderful to have this conversation with you. Thank you.
We are loved up. I love it.